Hello everybody and welcome to Toadstool Tarot. Robin here. I'm excited to be with you today and share the arrival of my third deck that I designed. The first one being the Open Face Tarot that I did about a year ago at makeplayingcards.com because I liked the cardstock used on my favorite deck, the RWS 2.0 by James Rickleff, and he designed his deck there. So I went with them and I used their templates. It wasn't too tricky, and I like the quick turnaround and quick availability of Make Playing Cards for people. And I did this deck after procrastinating for a long time. I did this deck in 4 hours. All the images of the majors only in only 4 hours. It's not perfect, but it's perfect for me. As Grace Jones sings, I'm not perfect, but I'm perfect for you. So it's a monochrome deck. I have several sizes made available. I think there's a couple plastic versions. Some come with a velvet bag, some don't. Some are just shrink wrapped. My favorite is this little mini one that's just comes shrink wrapped. You can buy a velvet bag separately if you like, or a little plastic box like I'm going to show you. They're about $2. I recommend them. Fits this perfectly. And this is probably the cheapest deck I've ever seen available on the internet. These go for under $8. Of course, with Make Playing Cards shipping and processing, it probably doubles that, or maybe a little bit more, but it's a pretty cheap deck, available, economical. My second deck, a couple months after the first one, people were pressing me in the community to do a full 78 card deck. And I wasn't sure that I could tackle 78 scenic designs, so I decided to go with a pip deck. This is my Eyes Wide Tarot, which you can either get shrink wrapped cheaper or more expensive in a tin. It's bright pop colors, and I won't show them all, but you can see an array here of some of the colors that I used, and you can also see a kind of a carryover link from this to my new deck in some of the imagery. So that brings us to the new one today. For the third one, I decided to go sort of scenic in a Lenormand deck, and I used this little character that I sort of developed in the second deck, and I decided to call this one Little Norman's Little Lenormand Cards, which I thought was pretty cute. Comes in this little hinge, well, actually it doesn't come in this hinge box. They wouldn't allow me to package it that way or sell it that way, so it's just shrink wrapped. But you can buy these boxes a la carte for I think about $2 a piece, and I highly recommend them. It's a bridge size deck, I believe, and this is the perfect number of cards for me for a deck. Sometimes 78 seems too many, and 21, 22 seem too few, and this feels just right. This deck, these are the backs. This deck is very easily manageable. Nice glide to it. The cards are linen stock, which I like. Again, bright pop colors. This is a little character that I carried over from the first deck. Although I gave him sort of a chicklet body. I say him, it's neither him nor her. I gave them a chicklet body. And so yeah, I did this little deck. I have a title card here and a little explanation, which I'll read to you quickly. This deck is my third creation and my first Lenormand. Breaking with tradition, I repeat my previous use of a non-gender specific character as supporting actor in a stream of backstage shenanigans behind the 36 card symbols, which are the stars, or star players, of the Lenormand deck. I have added playing card associations and have included for the number 11 a choice of the whip or the broom. I've also relabeled the traditional man-woman cards 28 and 29 as person and other person. I hope you will find some joy in using this cheerful deck featuring Little Norman set in brightly colored cards. So let's have a look, shall we? You can see here is Little Norman as the rider. We have the clover. The boat or ship. The house. The tree. The clouds. The snake. The coffin. Flowers or bouquet. Scythe. The whip. You can see I used the same character, but I did sort of change the positioning of the orientation and the arms in some cases, the eyes in many cases. The whip. The broom. My broom looks a little bit more like a mop, but it's clearly labeled broom, so I think you can pick that up. The birds. Child. The fox. The bear. The stars. The dog. The storks. The tower. The garden. Mountain. Paths. Mice. The heart. The ring. The book. The letter. Person. Other person. The lilies. The sun. The moon. The key. The fish. The anchor. And the cross. And I miscalculated the template, so there's an extra card in here, but you can use that as a protection card on the back. I hope you appreciate what I've done here. Just in case you don't know, I use the Simple Pages program that comes with every Mac laptop. And I simply collaged or layered different geometric shapes and stretched and shaped them and applied color. So this is not drawn. This is pentagons, rectangles with rounded corners, circles, triangles, squares that I've angled. So you can sort of see there was one or two cases where I did have to work with a line, which was very difficult for me. I'm not real experienced with working with Bezier curves, so to make the body of this snake, I had to make a fat line and put in the curves, which is really tough. So I actually repurposed this and resized it for the whip, and I think the paths card, I might have redrawn one there, but yeah, I that would have taken me a week probably just to figure out how to master that tool, and it actually took me a week to make this deck. So pretty good, I think. My first deck took 4 hours. The second one took about 4 days. This one took me a week. So we'll see if I end up doing a full 78 card scenic deck next, how long that might take me, but I'm gonna rest for a while. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this deck, and lay out some of the cards in a sort of a tableau here. Of course, these will be shuffled, so the color disbursement will be better. I don't have much space here on my table to do this. They're not large cards, but they're not minis either. You probably would need a fairly large table for a grand tableau. And I probably am going to stick pretty much with 3 and 5 card spreads, possibly a 9 card one. If I could flip my tray around, my lap tray, and do a 9 card, I think. Thanks for stopping by and joining me for this quick walkthrough and debut of my Little Norman's Little Lenormand deck. Bye. See you all soon. Have fun.